guys, Jacqueline here, and I'm going to tell you today about Catch to 5K weeks 2 and 3. So by week 2, the first run of week 2, I literally was thrilled. I think it was a combination of realizing that I've done it, like the second week, I've done the first run of the second week and I was still going. So I was really thrilled about that. And at this point, I'd recognized that I needed to wear a knee brace because my knee had swollen up after the first 2 runs the previous week. So I was wearing a knee brace, which really helped. And I'd also bought some gel called I Believe, which I was using at the time, which had got ibuprofen in it. I'd learned to use AirPods instead of using a microphone with like string, because I was like pulling the string all the time. And I realized, like, when you watch the videos, you'll see I really found it tough. In the Couch to 5K in week 2, it's 3 runs of 90 seconds running and 90 seconds recovering. You do that 5 or 6 times. And it seemed like quite a big step up from the week before. And it was tough. Each run was tough. This is the point where I would like say little mantras to myself when I was running. I'd started to learn my route by now, so I'd started to know how far to run and then turn around and run back, so that I wasn't on one of the runs previously. I'd ran so far that I had like a 10-minute walk home. But she does tell you when it's halfway through, so that's a point to turn around. And by this point, I was saying little mantras to myself. So when my head was telling me, it's hard, it hurts, etc., I was saying, like, one thing that came to mind was how resilient I've been in the past and all the things that I've done and overcome, and how I know that sometimes stuff is hard. Like, even though you'll see there's a lot of joy on my face when I'm running, I find it difficult. Like, near enough every single run is difficult, even now. And, like 6, 7 months on, I still find runs difficult, but that doesn't mean I don't let that get in the way of enjoying them. So that was what was happening on these next 3 runs of week 2. You'll also notice that I started getting interested in pace. So one of the things that I did, and a lot of other people in the WhatsApp group did, is download Runkeeper or Strava and had that running in the background. So we'd listen to the Couch to 5K for the actual running coach, but I had Runkeeper running in the background so that it would track where I was running, and stats like how fast I was, how many kilometers I'd done. And you get a little map and you can take a photo. You can do all sorts of things in these apps. I found that really useful because I liked seeing, starting to see my pace and starting to see how far I was running and things like that. So I started getting interested, and I didn't overwhelm myself at first with like looking at all of that stuff. But if you're into it, go ahead. I just had it on for the, like I say, tracking of it. And I'm really glad now that I did that, because I can look back on all of those runs and they're all stored in my app. So I highly recommend that you do that at the, really early on in your journey. Okay, so my first top tip for this session is hashtag own pace. So one of the things that I will absolutely recommend that you do is do not worry about how fast other people are going or how slow other people are going or how fast or slow you're going or anything like that. Do not worry. Especially in these early days, like even later on, I still stick by the mantra of hashtag own pace, because my run and your run is going to be totally different. and we're all going to find different ways. And the whole point of this running journey, this initial running journey, is to find your own pace and find what you're capable of. And you're just starting. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, as in, you know, you've got 9 weeks to just run. Just see what it's like to get out every day and to run, first of all for 60 seconds non-stop, and eventually for 30 minutes non-stop. That is the only point of this journey. You start to learn about breathing. The Couch to 5K app coach talks to you about breathing and things like that. But the main purpose is just to be able to know that you can run for little bit faster each time, a little bit longer each time, and it's just to get to the end. Each day that you run is to get to the end of that training session and do what the training tells you. So that's the very first tip, is #ownpace. Don't worry about anybody else. My second tip is hydrate. I wasn't very good at this at first when I first started, because I didn't like running with a water bottle. So I would have a drink before I went out, and then I would take the bottle with me. And you'll see in some of my videos, I leave it in some weird places when I do start taking it with me. But actually, it is really, really, really important to hydrate and have some sort of water bottle with you that can assist with that. And my third tip before we move into week 3 is to tell you that you can repeat any week. So the app is designed as 9 weeks, and I actually did do it in 9 weeks, and some of my running buddies did too. But there were some people who actually repeated, say, week 4 or week 6, or who got to a certain point and then wanted to start again. And that is absolutely fine. So I always gave myself that option. So I would always say, I'm doing this week, and this is my challenge for this week. And I didn't look too far ahead. And then if I did that week and I was happy with that week, then I would move on to the next week. But at the beginning of each week, I always said, if I want to, I can repeat this week. The other thing that I always said to myself is, if I want to, I can walk. So I didn't deny myself, but I would motivate myself while I was running. But I had it as an option. I knew it was an option available to me, that if I wanted to, and I got, you know, it was just all too much or whatever, I could just walk the distance. So I wouldn't just give up and turn around and walk home. In my head, the plan would be that I would walk the 30 minutes. I never actually ended up doing that, but it's always an option. Later on, you'll get to see that there is even a thing called run, walk, run, and you know, really long distance runners do that. So it's always an option to walk. I encourage you to do the build up and do the 90 seconds, 60 seconds, 90 seconds, and so on. But you've always got that as an option. And that somehow, having that in the bag, somehow felt like, yeah, I'm okay. I've got a way out if I need it, even though I never took it. So as we come into week 3 now, I started to look forward to it, and I've got a 4th tip, which is stretching. Stretching is really important. It's one of the main things that people don't do. It's one of the things that many of us in the group struggled with, like, oh, we've got to run for 30 minutes and we've got to find the time to stretch. But just build it in as part of the routine. Stretch beforehand and a stretch, definitely stretching afterwards. There were times when I didn't stretch and I would really feel that. So I have a very tight IT band, and I'd get pains in my legs if I didn't stretch. So your body thanks you, your whole system thanks you. There's a couple of really cool short stretching routines that I used to do, which I'll put in the comments below. And they're like yoga stretching routines, but find something that works for you, that you enjoy, and just build it in, and know that that is part of your running. By now, as you're moving into week 3, you should be seeing this as part of your routine. So as I say, I was really, really looking forward to it. But it didn't mean that it was easy. You know, I still had a lot of mental chatter just trying to stop me from getting out in the morning, and I would still have a lot of mental chatter on the run itself. However, I kept going, and week 3 is you do like a 90-second run and a 90-second recovery, and then you do a 3-minute run and a 3-minute recovery, another 90-second run, 90-second recovery, and then another 3-minute run with, of course, the 5-minute warm up and cool down. It seemed like a huge leap, that 3 minutes. All of us were like, wow, 3 minutes, we can't run for 3 minutes. However, one of the little tricks that I did was that I would run. I knew that I could run for 90 seconds because I just did that 3 times last week, and we did one to start off this week. And so I'd say, I know I can run for 90 seconds, so at least I'll do that. And then, of course, then it's only another 90 seconds to finish that run off, right? And it's 3 minutes, and then you get 3 minutes recovery. So actually, it's way more achievable. And it was helpful to me to break it down like that in my mind. I never looked too far ahead, but I would like to know what the next run is coming up, because I'd like to get my mind ready for doing that run and preparing myself, you know, knowing that, right, that's what I'm going to be doing, and that's okay because I've got this far, so that means I can do it. And so yeah, I'd really enjoy doing that. And that was week 3 in the bag. One of the cool things was that by the second run of week 3, I was actually looking forward to pacing it up. I felt like I had more in the tank. Like you can see from this clip here, I just keep saying, I've got more in the tank.
I thought, oh, it's only 6 seconds to go now. I've got more in there. I've got more in the tank. I know that now. I've definitely got more in the tank. So I'm excited for next week, even though I haven't done the third run yet.
And I did. I had more in the tank. I felt like, yeah, you know what, I can keep going. In fact, I think there was one run where I did an extra sneaky 30 seconds running. I was so proud of myself. So I'm not saying that you should do that. Just follow what the coach says. But again, it's about listening to your own body and listening to your own inner coach. Thanks for watching. Lots of love. Bye.